welcome to my channel. I am Yashika Foster, affectionately known as the Artist of Dating. Today we are talking about romanticizing. Yes, romanticizing. And you're probably wondering, why are we talking about this today? Because it is a subject that we have to talk about, ladies and gentlemen, especially to my ladies, because I believe that women do this more so than men. See, here's the thing about romanticizing. Romanticizing tells us that things are picture perfect. It gives us a false sense of reality. It tells us that we have this fantasy land about what things are when they're not, because we look at things like fairy tales, we look at televisions, we have these Disney things that's going on in the world, that we looked at when we were kids, like the Princess and the Frogs, and we have Snow White, we have Rapunzel, we have the different princesses and things like that. And so we have this whole thing that as we start to get from the Disney or the young girl stage till we get to the like the preteen, and then we start thinking about the picket white fences and the husband and the two kids and a dog and all this, and then this house with this picket wood fence around and all this kind of stuff. So we start thinking about what we believe life is supposed to be like. And sometimes it will be that way. But what is it that we go through? Or shall I say, what experiences do we have before we get to that, or while we're getting to that? It's not always pretty. And I believe that because of the way we look at love and we romanticize it, and it gives us a false narrative about relationships, we're not always prepared for all the things in between. And so today I wanted to talk about the whole romanticizing and the false narrative that it gives us. So what exactly is romanticizing? Romanticizing is pretty much the ideal, or the unreal idealistic that we see, that's like a false truth of the way something is supposed to be, specifically relationships. When we romanticize about it, so relationships, it's the false that we see, where we're looking at something that says, well, you know what? I'm going to look at these people on social media. I'm going to look at these people on reality television. I'm going to look at these people on TV or wherever, and that's how I want my relationship to be like, right? Because remember, on television, on reality shows, you read in a book, in a magazine or whatever, they're going to show you the pretty side of things. They're not going to show you the side of things where they're going through the trials and the tribulations, right? They're going to show you the part where they're booed up or snuggled up or doing all these things that make it look pretty and unrealistic, right? So you believe that they may go through some things, but at the end of the day, it's all prettied up, so it must not be that bad, because they look good when they're out and about, when that's not the truth. Look at some of the media. Look at some of the people that we see in today's society that's on television, where for many years we saw them, looking good for media. They even wrote books about it. Then all of a sudden, bam, we see that they're filing for divorce. And it's like, well, wait a minute, where did that come from? We thought that they were one of the couples that were going to last to the end, because they didn't wrote books about it. They didn't talk about it. They didn't did all these things. They've been showing up on media. They've been showing up, they didn't give classes. They've done all these things. How is it that they're getting divorced? Because it wasn't always pretty. What they showed to the public was about making money, right? Because they didn't talk about the tough things, and that they wasn't always able to figure things out, no matter how much counseling they may have endured, no matter how much, bending they may have went through. Sometimes people just don't always see eye to eye. Sometimes, things are not always black and white. Sometimes the picket white fence just doesn't always exist, right? And so when we think about romanticizing, like I said, it's not that those things don't exist. It's not that those things aren't possible to obtain, because they are. We have to remember that life happens. When you think about a relationship, you have to think about it from the point of, there are two different people that's coming together to form one, right? And let's think about it from the point of two oceans, right? And I can't remember which two bodies of water it is, but I know one of them is salt water and one of them is spring water. I think it is salt water and spring water. I think it is. But there's two oceans that I remember. And I should have probably did my research on this before I use this as an example. But for whatever reason, this just came to me. You got two bodies of water that, although they're two waters, both of them are waters. They both have they both can do the same. They can drown you, right? You can't drink either one of them straight from its habitat. You can't just drink them, right? Because they'll kill you. Okay, so you got two bodies of water. They both have the same pose of. They both risk the same. They both have the same risk, right? They can kill you. They can drown you. Whatever. Okay, you don't want to get caught out there without a boat, a lifeguard, a lifeboat, a life ramp, whatever. You don't want to get caught out there in either one of those oceans because they both can kill you. So you got both of them. Okay, so you got this water, that's salt water. You got that water, that's fresh water. Okay, fresh water and salt water, fresh water. They're both waters. If you look where those two bodies of water meet, no matter what happens, they will never intersect. Neither body of water, the fresh water or the salt water, will never intersect. So I've seen images on the internet where you can see the clear line of division between those two bodies of water. So no matter what happens, although they are two of the same elements, they're both waters, they're the same elements, they will never mix because they are two different types of water. That's the same way it is with two people. No matter how much you do, no matter how much you adjust, no matter how much you change, you are still two individual people, right? You're following me with this? You are still two different individual people. Although, you say, okay, well, my mate likes this. So because my mate likes this, I'm going to learn to appreciate it as well. I may not be as full force with it, but if he likes football, I'm going to sit down occasionally on a Sunday with him and and watch football. I may not appreciate football the way he does, but because it's a bonding moment, I'm going to sit down with him on a Sunday, put on my jersey and watch football. On the other side, he may say, well, you know what? I don't like shopping, but every now and again, I'm going to go shopping with my wife because she likes to go shopping. So I'm going to go with her, right? So it's not that you're willing to just say, okay, I love shopping because my wife loves shopping, or I love football because my husband loves football. You're learning to adjust to each other so that you can spend those things that matter or those quality times with each other. So you're still two different individuals, but you're learning to adjust and meet each other halfway, just like those two bodies of water, right? You're not going to ever mix because see, you're a man, she's a woman, or whatever, right? You're still two different people. You were raised one way, he was raised one way. Or you were raised one way, she was raised one way, right? You have your morals and beliefs, they have their morals and beliefs. They have their do's and their don'ts, they have their do's and their don'ts. This body of water is salt, this body of water is fresh water. You see what I'm saying? They're both still human, they're both still water, they're just separate. And that's the same way you should look at relationships. Is that although they are the same element, they are the same people, they are not the same people, but they're still human. They're still water, they're still human, but they're distinctly different. And so because they are distinctly different, they're still going to be different in terms of it's not going to ever just be completely one on everything. So when you think about relationships and romanticizing, once you understand that everything is not picture perfect and everything will never be 100% agreed upon, and understand what are you willing to sacrifice versus not sacrifice, then you are more ahead of the game than most people. Because listen, out here in this dating world, it's tough, especially the older you get and the more you get set in your ways in terms of you're single longer, right? It's like you start to do things where it's just you. It's really hard to start to say, okay, well, it's not just me anymore. I have to think for not only myself, but for someone else. Or it's not just me that I have to cook for. I have to cook for myself and someone else. You do things a little bit different when you're by yourself for a long time, right? And it's not that it can't be done. It's just that you really have to think about things differently. And that's one of the hardest parts that people go through once they go from being single to being in a relationship, is you can't be selfish anymore, right? And this video is not about being selfish. This is about romanticizing the way people portray relationships out here in the world. And the main point of this video is just let you guys remind you guys that things are not always what it seems. So if you really want to be into the relationship, into a long lasting relationship, you have to really be honest about what it is that you want. Because the things that you see out here on social media and on TV and things like that, that's not real. That's not reality. That's you romanticizing about what you think a relationship should be, and it's not. A relationship is just about compromising, about respect, about honesty, about commitment, about openness, about being kind, about just those things that make you guys individual but yet come together as in unity, right? That's what it's about. Love, just all those good things, all those juicy things. It's not about being picture perfect. It's not about romanticizing anything. It's not about, let's show up for everybody to see us looking good, or everybody to see us flossing, and everybody to see us doing this. That's not what relationships is about, right? Because everyone goes through it. Everyone goes through it. If you think about any relationship, whether it's a physical relationship, or a mother and a father relationship, or a sister and a brother relationship, or a friend and friend relationship, every relationship goes through its trials and its tribulations. But it's how you get through those trials and tribulations that really matter. And not everyone has the tools in which to get through situations. Not everyone knows how to get through situations, right? Because some people are like, okay, I'm not going to figure it out. I don't want to figure it out. Or they just don't know how. Some people don't want to bend. Some people don't want to talk about things. Some people don't want to say, you know what? I'm sorry. I was wrong. Or better yet, I don't know what I did wrong. Tell me about what I did wrong so that I can make sure I don't do it again in the future. Some people don't know how to do that. They live through this, they go through this life saying, you know what? I said what I said, I did what I did. Oh, well, so be it. And that's never the answer. That's never the answer. So when you think about a relationship or something that you want to do, look at someone that someone who maybe been together for years, and take a cue from them. Ask them, what did they do in terms of relationship? Ask them, how did their relationship last so long? Ask them about the trials and the tribulations they've been through, right? And I can tell you one thing, they'll tell you that they didn't take it from a TV cue. They had to do the work. They had to do the work. They didn't take it from reality TV. They didn't go Google it, that's for sure. They had to do the work. And they'll tell you that it wasn't always pretty, but what it did do is they had to put in the work. They had to put in the work and the commitment and the dedication. And it wasn't always pretty. And they'll probably tell you there were times when they thought about splitting up or divorcing or breaking up or whatever. But through whatever higher being, they made it through. They'll probably tell you that. And so I don't know who this was for, but I hope that this video will inspire you or have you to keep going and moving forward, and to know that what you see on TV is a reality, right? That we can get to the love, right? We can get to the love, and we can have it all. Thank you so much for watching this video. And if you have not, please like and subscribe to my channel, and I'll talk to you guys in the next video. Bye for now.